One of the most powerful laws that can transform a person's life forever is something called the mirror principle. This transformation doesn't require a secret ritual, a complicated technique, or even massive action. This principle connects directly to who you choose to become on the inside long before anything shows up on the outside. Think about it. If a chosen one desires to rise into wealth, greatness, or influence, the truth is simply you must become that version of yourself internally first. If not, you'll keep jumping from opportunity to opportunity, wondering why nothing sticks and assuming something is wrong with you. So here is the first revelation. If nothing shifts within you, nothing will ever shift around you. This is the core, the heartbeat, the sacred essence of the mirror principle. Master it, and suddenly everything you touch will begin to prosper. But this mastery requires courage, the courage to face your own shadows, your own fears, your own reflection, even the parts you'd rather avoid. If you're truly ready for deep, undeniable change, this message is for you. In today's video, we are going to expose this principle and show how it can completely rewrite your reality. And stay with me until the end, because I will share a powerful inner exercise, one I still practice myself, that can shift your energy in ways you've never experienced. The mirror reveals who you are becoming. Reality mirrors your relationship with yourself, with life, and with the world. Your inner world and your outer world are not separated, they are reflections of each other. Let's return to the example of becoming a millionaire. If deep inside you believe you're not capable of creating wealth, if you believe you aren't good enough with money, the mirror of reality will respond, so be it. Here is more proof that you cannot make money, and life will continue offering situations that validate that belief. Remember this, the external world is simply an image projected from your internal world. Your beliefs are the blueprint, your reality is the reflection. Look around today. Most people are trapped in the noise of the outside world, scrolling endlessly, reacting to everything, disconnected from their inner wisdom. But chosen ones understand something deeper. True transformation begins within, not around. There is an inner essence within us, an ancient power that, once understood, allows us to shape reality itself. To activate this power, we must master 4 foundational keys, and these keys are what give the chosen ones the ability to shift their lives from the inside out. When people talk about the law of attraction, they often repeat the idea that reality is a mirror. But what most do wrong is this: they try to manipulate the mirror instead of transforming the one standing in front of it. Let's break down the first key of the mirror principle, the most important one. 1. Reality reflects 2 things only. Reality mirrors back to powerful elements: your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world around you. Whatever appears in your outer life is simply an echo of how you see yourself internally and how you interpret the world. If you look at yourself and say, "I'm not enough, I can't do this, I don't deserve this," then the mirror, faithful, obedient, and neutral, will respond as you wish. Here is more proof that you are not enough. Life begins to shape itself around that belief. The mirror of reality behaves almost like a loyal companion, constantly validating whatever identity you present to it. It does not argue. It does not resist. It simply reflects. So instead of fighting the reflection, instead of wrestling with circumstances, instead of trying to push the outside world to change, the true path is to transform the image you project. This is similar to influencing another person. If you say to someone, "Don't do that," they'll likely do it anyway. But if you inspire them, if you show them reasons, if you guide instead of forcing, you shape their behavior without direct confrontation. Reality works the same way. You don't force the world to change, you influence it by evolving your inner identity. This is the secret chosen ones understand. The mirror of reality intensifies whatever you believe. It reflects exactly what you hold as truth in your mind, who you think you are, and how you think the world works. This is one of the most important keys you must understand. So how do we change this? How do we stop repeating the same patterns and begin consciously choosing the reality we want to experience? You must begin creating your own identity and your own worldview. This becomes your personal paradigm. To understand this clearly, imagine yourself 10 years from now. In that final image of your future, what do you see yourself doing every single day? What fills your life with meaning and excitement? What do you have that makes your life feel like a continuous journey of growth, purpose, and discovery? Then ask yourself a deeper question. Who am I in that reality? What traits do I embody? What kind of mindset do I carry? What qualities allow me to achieve, to receive, and to experience everything that version of me has? This is where your new identity begins. Next, consider how you see the world when you're living that life. How do you perceive reality when things are working in your favor? How do you view the world when you are aligned, fulfilled, and operating at your highest potential? Now bring that identity to life through powerful affirmations. Speak to yourself the way your future self would. Say things like, I am worthy. I attract abundance with ease because I carry the rare touch of an alchemist. Then create affirmations that reflect your worldview. Say things like, the world moves in my favor. Everything unfolds in perfect timing according to divine alignment. If you repeat these affirmations every day and allow them to sink into your subconscious, you will begin to see a transformation. Your perception will shift, your energy will shift, and eventually, the mirror of reality will have no choice but to shift as well. Even if your desire feels far away today, it does not mean it will be far tomorrow. Everything takes time, patience, and alignment. So honor your timing, but don't let fear block your path to the extraordinary. This exercise can completely change your life if you commit to it. Now let's move into the second key. The reflection we see in the physical world always appears with a delay. In your inner world, you can create instantly. You can close your eyes and see the full picture of what you desire. But in the physical dimension, things take longer to manifest because matter is dense. It follows natural laws. It cannot materialize instantly the way it does in your imagination. And that brings us directly into the next part of the mirror principle. To move into the next key, you must understand something vital. You have to hold your belief long enough for your manifestation to appear. This means staying loyal to the identity and worldview you've created until your desire shows itself in the physical world. Whatever you want to become, begin by living as someone who already is that. Ask yourself how that person behaves, how they think, how they react to situations, and embody that identity consistently. When people start practicing this, something interesting happens. They notice that life moves in waves. They form a new belief, a new identity, expecting their goal to manifest. But when the results don't come immediately, their mood drops, their vibration lowers, and without realizing it, their belief weakens. But here is the strange part. Once their mood hits the lowest point, that's usually when the manifestation finally arrives. Yet when it appears, it mirrors the emotional state they had a while ago. Because of this delay, what shows up reflects the negativity they held earlier, not the excitement they feel now. As a result, the manifestation starts to crumble or fade, because the mirror is responding to how they felt before, not how they feel now. This creates a cycle of ups and downs waves that feel impossible to escape. You rise, then you fall. You believe, then you doubt. You hope, then you fear. The key is to stay loyal to your chosen identity and worldview even through the waves. Remaining consistent with who you decide to be is what causes true transformation. Now let's move to the next key, which is one of the most powerful I practice daily. The mirror of reality does not reflect the emotional tone of your thoughts, it reflects the purified content within them. Let me explain this clearly. When someone constantly expresses frustration or dissatisfaction, there is always content inside that frustration. If you say, I hate my job, I hate my boss, I hate these bills, the mirror doesn't reflect the hatred itself. It reflects the content of what you focus on. You say, I hate the bills, and life gives you more bills. You say, I hate my job, and more situations appear to make your job worse. This is exactly how the mirror works. Whatever you highlight in your mind becomes multiplied. The more you complain about what you don't have or what you dislike, life will continue giving you more of the same, reinforcing your worldview and your identity. That is the difference between scarcity and abundance. It's the difference between seeing the glass as half empty or half full. The way to apply this principle is simple: focus on what you want and focus on what you already have. That is the fuel for change. You need to begin placing your attention on what you already have right now. Look at your life, your progress, the blessings around you, the family you cherish, the things you've gained through your journey. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do I truly want? What would turn my life into a real adventure of discovery? How does that life look? How does it feel? The image doesn't need to be perfect or detailed. Even a soft, hazy vision is enough, as long as your focus stays on what you desire. Because when you do this consistently, the gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to shrink. You start stretching your comfort zone. You begin moving toward the life you imagine. That is the heart of key number 3. Now we enter key number 4. And this one has the potential to transform everything forever. If you learn how to work with the mirror cycle, you won't feel confused or uncertain anymore. You will literally witness reality bending and shifting right in front of you. It all begins with understanding what has already been reflected. Think about your past attitudes, the emotions you carried, the complaints you repeated, the unconscious decisions you made. All of that created the reflection you are living right now. When you look at your current circumstances, like bills piling up, a job you don't enjoy, obstacles you didn't expect, you are looking at the result of an image you projected earlier. This present moment is the reflection, and what most people do is look at the reflection and then allow it to shape their next attitude. They repeat the same feelings, the same thoughts, the same reactions, and the mirror simply keeps recreating the same outcomes. This is the trap. People get stuck watching the reflection and then feeding it with the same emotional energy. Eventually they say, "Why does this keep happening to me? What am I doing wrong?" They jump from strategy to strategy, job to job, business to business. It works for a short time. They get hopeful. Then they fall right back into the old pattern. Not because the opportunity failed, but because the internal identity didn't change. The worldview stayed the same. What people don't realize is that nothing can shift for real until identity and worldview shift first. That is the core. The way out is to reverse the mirror cycle completely. Most people observe first, create the image second, and then receive the reflection third. That is the cycle of someone controlled by reality. But a co-creator, a true creator of their destiny, does the opposite. They begin with the inner image. They turn their back on the reflection. They refuse to be hypnotized by what they see right now. They ignore the circumstances long enough to anchor a new inner state. I say this with conviction because I lived trapped in the old cycle for years. But once I understood the mirror cycle, everything changed. To break the pattern, you must start with the image of the life you want. Hold that image, feel it, embody it. Then stop giving your attention to the current reflection. When you stop feeding it, it loses power. And when your inner image becomes stronger than the outer reflection, the mirror must adjust. That is where transformation begins. Because eventually you begin to understand that everything around you right now is shaped by choices, emotions, and beliefs you held in the past. You must grasp this truth or nothing in your life will ever shift. If you want to influence the future, you must consciously choose your inner state today. That is where your power lives. So we start with the inner image. When you choose the image and declare, "This is who I am, and this is what I want," the mirror has no option but to begin reflecting that choice. At first, it will only show up in small ways. Tiny signs, subtle shifts. Little by little, the reflection begins to adjust. There is always a delay, but the change starts quietly. Now here is what you must do next. Instead of observing your current circumstances with judgment or fear, you confirm your new direction. You look into the mirror not to be discouraged, but to identify what is beginning to align. You look at the reflection and say, Yes, that's working. There it is, the proof is appearing. If you are seeking confidence, you'll notice people gradually treating you with more respect. If you are trying to elevate your work, your business, or your opportunities, you'll notice small improvements starting to unfold. Your entire world could be shaking, collapsing, or moving in unexpected ways, but your attention remains fixed on the evidence that supports the identity and worldview you have chosen. You stop feeding the old reflection. You only acknowledge the signs that match your new reality. And the more you do this, the stronger the shift becomes. Eventually, the small changes compound and your life transforms into something far beyond anything you imagined. If you begin applying these principles, your entire existence will start to rearrange itself. This is not theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is real. These are the same principles I practiced at the very beginning of my spiritual journey, and they worked. They reshaped my life completely, and that is why I'm passing them on to you now. I used to think all of this was just empty talk, until I witnessed the results for myself. Suddenly, the things I had been desiring started finding their way to me effortlessly, and even beyond what I had imagined. When we explore the concept of the mirror of reality, we uncover a hidden power inside us that many people never notice. Everything around us reflects our beliefs, our identity, and the way we see the world. But the real key to transformation is this: instead of simply watching what life shows us, we step forward and shape our lives through the image we hold of ourselves. The moment we begin to build a new inner picture of who we want to become and what we want to receive, that mirror begins to shift. Small changes appear at first, then bigger ones, slowly rearranging our reality. The mirror of reality does not argue, resist, or limit. It only echoes what we consistently give it. Just like an alchemist turning ordinary metal into gold, we also have the ability to transform our lives. By embracing a mindset of abundance and focusing on what we want to grow, everything around us begins to align. In the end, this journey through the mirror of reality is a journey back into ourselves, a discovery of our creative power and our ability to rise above limitations. My hope is that this understanding becomes a guiding light for you as you build the life you dream of. Thank you for taking this journey with me. If this message touched you, make sure to like and subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear this today, and leave a comment with your thoughts or experiences. I'd love to hear what you felt while watching. Heaven already recognizes you. Now it's your turn to answer the call.